You're on.
Great.
Today I'm talking to Stephan Chan. Stephan graduated with his honors in psychology from UNSW and is now working as a reward consultant at EY. Hi, Stephan.
Hey, Denise.
Hey, thanks for being here. Can we start with your job? So what does it mean to be a reward consultant?
Yeah, so I might speak more broadly about the team I'm under. It's called People Advisory Services, and it's pretty much thinking about how important people are in the workforce and having companies come to us with problems and saying, how do we best motivate, say, performance? How do we best use people as a resource in the working world? And reward is sort of a smaller team within that, and we mainly deal with issues around pay and remuneration. So maybe I'll talk about what I did today, which is this morning I was writing about some market practice and sort of the information we see in different superannuation funds and how they pay their investment team. And then later on, I'm sort of in a Excel spreadsheet, crunching data, figuring out the right way to pay an executive team. And then later on, I'll be catching up with a manager to help produce a bunch of letters to send out to employees, informing their pay. And so oftentimes we're working on those different projects and we'll have meetings with managers, catch ups with the teams, and it's all, I think, quite different from a day-to-day basis, but we're always working towards those deadlines and deliverables.
And how does your psychology study help you with this job, with being a reward consultant? Do you use it a lot at work?
Yeah, so I think a lot of the degrees these days, you feel like the content you learn isn't really applicable to the job, but I feel like some of those base skills are really quite valuable. Say in psychology, I actually asked this to a partner and he said the best thing about psychology students is that one, they're really good with data, they do stats, we work with a lot of numbers and analysis, but at the same time, we do a lot of reading and reports and writing. And so we have sort of this knack of numbers, but also a great writing style that's sort of really concise. And those things, I think, work quite well together in the field of consulting. There's a whole actual range of different degrees. We have people in law and commerce, HR, someone did engineering. I think our team actually quite likes psychology people because I've mentioned those sort of skill sets of sort of numbers and also writing. And so I'd say a good portion of our team is psychologists, but there's definitely no requirement around what degree you want to do. It's definitely more about sort of the base skills and experiences you have in general.
Yeah. So when you decided to study psychology, did you know that you wanted to do this kind of work? Did you know you wanted to do some sort of work for consultancy?
Absolutely no clue. What I did know was that I didn't want to do clinical. I thought, research is a way for me. And I sort of realized after helping out in a few research labs that didn't really quite fit my working style.
So where in your studies did you realize that this might be something you want to do? You mentioned you knew you didn't want to do clinical psych. You found the research lab interesting, but it wasn't quite your speed. How did you find this?
Yeah. So I think around the end of second year, the start of third year, I was really, really lost. I was just not sure what to do. I knew what I didn't want to do. And so out of sort of some serendipitous luck, I was in a conversation with friends and they were talking about how they were applying for internships at these big four firms. And I didn't know about it, but I thought, might give it a shot. I really like doing psychometrics and tests like that. And so I applied and somehow got in, and that's sort of how I ended up here.
Nice. So you had an internship during uni, which helped you to apply for and get the job.
Exactly. So I did the internship sort of at the end of third year to the beginning of honors, and then sort of at the end of it, I was offered a grad position.
Nice. Stephan, I'd like to get a better sense of all of the different kinds of things you might do from this point on. So you're in this reward consulting position at EY right now. But I know that companies like that are very big and there are so many different kinds of roles that people might take. Do you have an idea of what, your future career might look like?
Yeah, I'm still quite unsure about where I want to go. I feel like when people ask you in interviews, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm not too sure where I'll be in 5 months, let alone 5 years. And so for my role in particular in reward, typically the routes are you sort of stay down this consulting route and sort of work in this sort of niche field, or you might go to organizations out there and just help develop their sort of reward function and how they reward employees. Or alternatively, a lot of employees just go do something completely different. You could work in government, you could work in different types of consulting, you can change teams within EY. And I feel like what's given me a lot of comfort in starting my career is that I've seen a lot of opportunities available out there. In a year or 2 years' time, if I don't feel like it, I can go to a different organization or a different team. And I feel like the skills I've developed here have been quite helpful and will sort of help upskill me to where I want to go in the future.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, Stephan. This has been wonderful.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya.